Hello all, welcome to oratrainings.com. In this session, we'll discuss about how do we identify the table in which the app composer object is getting stored. So we'll understand the approaches and what is the purpose of this also we'll try to understand. So in Oracle Fusion, there are two approaches available to identify in which table our custom object data is getting stored. The first one is ADF extensible table approach, and another one is a metadata manager approach. So in our session today, we'll try to concentrate on the ADF extensible table approach. So, like when Oracle is already providing a standard metadata manager approach, why are we working, or what is the need of using this extensible table approach? The first approach works even before publishing it. But the second approach, the metadata manager approach, works only after the app composer object is published. So now we want to validate our table column information, basically column information in the app composer before getting published. So the reason why do we need to validate? The basic thing is we know that the migration of the app composer is not available in automated fashion. It is always a manual approach. Let us say you have an app composer in dev instance where you have 25 columns. And the same set of 25 columns you have to create in the UAT environment, production environment, pre-production environment, or whatever the environment which you work on. Now, what will happen is when you're creating the columns in one instance to another instance, if at all, if you just mismatch the sequence, what will happen is the column names will get different. Table name, we are aware that whenever you publish it, the table name will differ definitely, but just changing the table name in any of the underlying report which it is using or the integration which it is using will not have any much implication. But the column names, let us say if you have 25 columns and if you don't follow a proper sequence of creating a columns, then what will happen is every time you have to rewrite the query and you have to validate the columns and everything like that. That's what happens. The rework happens. To mitigate that particular issue, so when you create an app composer object in any of the environment, you just get the metadata information from these tables, validate what is the column name and what is the column name you created and what is the column name which allocated for your column. And based on that, if you think it is good, you publish it. If it is not good, just delete it and recreate it and then validate it and then publish it. So this is one of the very efficient approach to validate the column before getting published. So we have four tables which are available for that particular metadata information about the app composer object. So all these four tables are interlinked. In one of the table, you'll have the object details, then you'll have the some more extra information of the table. You'll have table ID details. Another one will have a column as well as column data type information. So we'll just show you one example here. This is one of the query wherein we have used the two tables, ATF extensible table usage as well as the table details. Once you pass the object name, so just pass, the partial name of your object, and it generates in which particular table. Once it is getting published, it will display here. Now here if you observe, once it is published, it will be available in the MOT ref entities. But until unless it is published, you will not find any record for your particular attribute category. I mean for your object, because there is no data available in that, right? So now let us try to understand this one. Now let us say I have an app composer object which is xxemp detail, which is not yet published, and I have around 5 custom columns which I have created. Now I just need to understand what is my column name and what is the this is my display label, right? I mean, it's a column name and in which column, the physical column in which it is getting stored. So using the ADF metadata tables, so I just designed a query, and here you can observe that this EMP number is getting stored in my attribute 6. E name is getting stored in the attribute character 6. And salary is in the number 7 as well as department number is in the department number 8. Now, in the target environment or maybe in another environment, if you want to create the same object, if you miss the sequence of creating this particular object, what will happen? Definitely the column names will differ. Table name anyway, it will differ. We are aware. But now, if you don't follow the sequence of creating a column names in the target environment, definitely the column names also will differ, and also the underlying environment which it is the underlying integration or the underlying report which it is using the app composer object will have a good amount of implication and where you have to rework. Okay, so now let's say I'll create one more column now. I'll say date of birth and click on save and close. You can just see here. Let's just click on view, right? We should be able to see this one. And here, maybe I can try this. Let us say, even if you try to execute this query, you will not find any data because we have not created any data in that. Okay. So there is no data in that as of now. Okay. Maybe we can try to publish it, or, I need to create a page, right? First of all, I've not created pages for that. So you can create a page, because if at all, if you want to create the data, definitely you require pages, or maybe using the web services approach also you can create the data. But let's try to publish it. We'll create pages and then publish it, and then we'll try to create a sample data for it. When you create a custom object, so if it is not published yet, so the advantage is still you have an option to delete it. You can simply delete your custom object, and then like you can recreate it also. Okay, that is one advantage. So that is the reason, before publishing your object, make sure that you validate what column names it is assigning, because there are a couple of attributes which App Composer will not allow you to modify. Once it is published, it is published. That's it. So the only option what you have is you have to recreate a new column, and then we can understand that, like, once you recreate a new column, the underlying environments, the underlying the core technical components may have like a rework. Let's try to pass this information. I'm going to create page layout also. Okay. So now let's try to access our page. So the page name is XXEMP detail. Let's navigate there. It should be available under other section. It is not available yet. Let's try to either refresh or maybe reload. Sometimes you need to sign out also. It's still not available. Maybe let me publish it. So I'm just publishing it now. So let's see the data here. I'll try to sign out, or maybe I'll try to log in another browser. Better. fa16.student. Okay, still I don't see this one. Maybe not sure of the issue, but anyway, So our concentration was, the table details, which we thought of, showing it. So these are the metadata table names. Okay. So these are the column names which will get assigned, and these are the table name which got assigned. Right. So generally what you do is before publishing it, always try to find out what is the logical data type and what is the column name and what is the attribute name it got assigned, revalidate it, and if everything is okay, then only you publish it. So this is all about, the ADF metadata tables in the app composer. Thank you.